Morning. So I woke up this morning. I think it might have been. I'm gonna let Michael down. It might have been the third. He's jumping, and then it changed to the sixth because I got a letter that we have a place here called MSD, Ministry of I don't know. Used to be WINS, Work and Income. You understand that? Yeah, I think it was May. They sent me a form. Yeah, there you go, there's our emblem. Did you know I got a copyright strike for the last video because I was filming the emblem? Like I was filming my honey? I can't work that one out. Anyway. Then I'm going nuts in this caravan. Very hard to focus it, so sorry, this is your time, I know it is. So it was sent to me in May. Oh, there was a wee note with it, that's right, here we go. V for verify. V for verify. Complete by the 4th of the 6th. So I've been using Paul Fay, he's my friend. We don't speak, but God's going to give him a leg. Yes, he is. Come back inside, it's cold. It's supposed to get rain here soon. Come on in. See, he's a naughty boy. So that's why he's the harvest. It's one of the reasons. They're manifesting it. Come on, inside. No, inside. What, I got a treat. Come on. Oh, no. See, Fireball's good. Come on, inside. Come on, inside. Come on. Ooh. So this is it. This is what I did with my children. Manipulated them. I didn't mean to, but... Oh, here he comes, see? And then I say, you're not getting one, that was naughty. It's very hard, isn't it? Oh, see? I'm imbalanced. Did you know I'm imbalanced? I have benign positional vertigo, and I have Meniere's disease. I have loud tinnitus in one ear and deafness. No balanced nerve. And I coped very well. Learned how to ride a motorbike with Meniere's disease, and I've got it. I got it after my hepatitis B shot. Told you it got me good. Got me real good. So anyway, I got that WINS thing from Paul. I used his address, and he actually's been returning to sender because he's bitter. But he actually sent this one to me. Des brought it up, the gold miner here. Des's partner is his sister, so they see each other every day. So that was going to be testimony, isn't it? When someone very, very close to you grows a leg. You know how quickly the Lord is going to do this? He can do anything. So it's sort of been haunting me for about 2 weeks, maybe 3. That's how long I've had it. It took a while to get here, didn't it? My underwear is hanging up on a hook. You guys need to laugh a little bit, don't you? Oh. What's this? What this? What this? What that? That's tributes. Here we go. What do you want, Michael? Oh. Yes. Life is mundane. It is never mundane. Never. I have the most wonderful life. I would never change my life with anyone. Never. You couldn't take me to heaven early to change my name. But like Jesus in the wilderness, when he was taken to the mountain, you know there's nothing that would change. Not change my name, change my life. You know there's nothing. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's a work of art. It's a book. Now, I got up and it was a 3rd. I went to bed before 12, so I must have, because I looked at the calendar and dated this extra, I put an attachment, just an explanation, because the form was very difficult. I have been on a benefit. I'm on a benefit. It's not enough to live a great lifestyle, but it's enough to survive, especially since I get my diesel provided, and most of my power I buy gas from the operators here. God has blessed me in some would say small ways, not miraculous, but these are little miracles, and I know that it's impossible that I got here, because the Lord showed me in a dream the courier taking an impossible road up this mountain. He showed me it, and then it happened, but it wasn't me driving. It was the gold miner Alan, of all people. He's the father. Yes, he is. There we go. The Lord just showed me. He's the father. It's a father and son business. See how impossible it is? It's a father and son business. So God's in the father and son business. So I'm a son. I'm a daughter. He's my father, but I'm not the vehicle. Jesus is. So that's my asset. I told him I have 2 assets, a caravan and a Ford Courier. You're allowed that. You're allowed those assets. And I have dependents. I didn't number the dependents. I said my dependents are my dogs. In this little, it wrote like a book. I didn't. I knew it would. So then it turned, obviously, to the 4th. Today's the 4th of June. Exactly 3 years ago, I was down the bottom of the hill in the Glory Hut on the 4th, in a off-grid hut that I called the Glory Hut. Exactly 3 years ago. Seeking the Lord. Trying to work out with him why nobody came to my party. It's my party and I cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. The Lord showed me that song. He's the Pied Piper. Oh wow, there's a remake of that one. It's worth it. I think Bick Ringer does it. I can't remember who does it. Evil as. Evil as. The Lord's turned it up. Because I'm the happiest. I'm so happy, but I can't. This is what I woke up with. So I wrote this book, put it in the envelope, and I know I'm going into town today because it's expected to rain. It still hasn't rained. Boy, I worked hard yesterday. I put a roof on and I built a massive wall to keep my beautiful timber dry for the cabinetries and give me somewhere to work, another place to work during the rain. And I laid in bed. I've got, the gold miner gave me 4 2-metre by 2-metre windows when I did some work for him. I refitted a barn, that cladding on a barn. It was a garage barn, everything's symbolic, with a builder who was very old with very bad knee, which is basically how I learned to be a builder, around people who were very old with very bad knees. So I was the boy, but I'm worn out from it, very worn out, and I suppose I added that in my story. I've got my medical conditions, Meniere's disease, benign positional vertigo, which is your ear's like a drain pipe. It's got little like little bones that fall out when I lift my head up sometimes, or down or around, and they roll along the hairs in your balance, and it's nice. It initially, when it first happened, it made me fall over in the toilet. That's what happened when I separated from my first husband, when he asked me to leave. And then when I was remarried, early in the marriage is when I got the Meniere's disease. 2 from perfect health, 2 ailments that involved my ears, and none of them are hereditary. Very strange, that. So I got on with life. I learned to be a builder and built for 6 years. It's a young man's game, even though I got qualifications in construction management and a project management degree, plus tried to get through an apprenticeship that other people that were a third as valuable as an employee as me flew through, because they were young males. Well, it seemed to have been sabotaged, but the Lord is wonderful, because I was bullied in 2018 when I got my dream job, which was actually a practical apprenticeship in a small company, and I could see myself moving to manage it very quickly because it was up and running, progressive type of company. You know, it looked like I was going to do well, and it looked great for the first month. I was coping with my daughter's psychosis, but then my mother died and I had to take some time off, and then I had to support my daughter who came out of hospital and needed me to take time off, and then my husband moved out of the marital bed, and then the Lord woke me up with the time is now, and then it dawned on me that I needed to go up the mountain. And then I left 3 days later. So I wrote everything except why I went up the mountain. I didn't lie about it, I just omitted it. There's enough factors involved, because my daughter intermittently berates me and calls me evil and harasses me, and then she apologizes, and she's done it maybe about 5 times in the last 3 years. Most recently about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, May it was. It was just before her birthday on the 20th she did it. She did it at the beginning of May when I was on that fast, actually. It always happens when I'm fasting. I've only fasted 3 times in my walk. He wants out. You stay, Yellow. Too much trouble. Hey, did you want to come in, rascal? So the other thing is, last time I saw my doctor, he's over in Christchurch, I got a really strange, he offered it. He said, you only have to come and see me every year. And that's strange, because he was making me come every 6 months. And he just sort of like to said, he said that. So I told him I see them 1 year in Christchurch, and so that's why I have a doctor here. I've never been to the doctor here. My doctor is in Christchurch, family doctor. Now the reason why I have that doctor is my husband's doctor, my husband's parents' doctor. So I got that doctor, and my husband's gone in, and it's professionally, for them to not say anything. But my husband went in and told him, no doubt lied about why I left. And then I had to go and see him. It was really strange, knowing that he knew another version of the story. But it doesn't matter, I've just been doing it for the last 3 years, so of course I don't trust my doctor. Who trusts their doctor? He looked at me really, really strange. And probably over time, he just realised that there's nothing wrong with her. Anyone with half a brain knows there's always two sides to a story. Because I know that Marty's story was that he was abandoned. That's what he told his lawyer. And he told me what his lawyer said. His lawyer said I was a narcissist. When he knows all along, I made it clear. I came back and I said to him, I didn't leave you. I obeyed God. There's nothing you did that would justify leaving you. I love you. I don't want a divorce. And he said, well, I don't love you. I fell out of love with you about 4 years prior, he said. So, funny how the Lord flushes out the truth, isn't it? But I wouldn't have divorced him for him not loving me either. I don't believe in divorce. Don't divorce, but obey God. Do you understand that? Anyway, I'm not divorced. He hasn't divorced me. Isn't that great? Now, I love him too, but I don't love him as a husband. I love him as I love him for the future. I love him for what the Lord showed me. I love him because I'm equally yoked with him. I love him because he and I share God together. We share a love for God. We stand like ancient angels and we look at the sun, either dawning or rising, still not sure what we were looking at. And then we step back together. We're not holding hands. And we sit down on a park bench and do what we say. I heard it like I knew the thoughts of the two people I was looking at, and I knew who they were. It was me and him. We were like the Ancient of Days, but not God, of course. But we were part of him. We were part of him, and we were thinking, look what God has done. And that's how life is. That's how life is. Because he said the kingdom of God is here. It is. And this morning after my little rave, I went to bed at 3 and then I'm up again now. It must be after 7. I woke up and the Lord said, not audibly, but I know I hear him. He said, get away early. He said, get away early. And then I just thought about what I'd done through the night. And last time I saw the doctor, I said both my thumbs really hurt, and he said, it's probably RSI from holding nail guns and things. It's hard on my body, and I started in my late 40s, and yeah, I only had about 6 years in me, and I also had an ACC claim in 2018 because I know when it was it happened. It was before I took my apprenticeship job. I was with an agency and I was doing some work, and at the very time I was doing this work, I was on a platform trying to get around columns. I was leaning over with the heaviest nail belt ever, my gun hanging off it, trying to get around columns on my knees. And the position I was in did something to me that has never stopped reoccurring. But at the time, I was trying to work, but I was getting messages from the hospital because it was... No, I was getting messages... This is the big sin that my daughter said I did. I was getting messages from my daughter's so-called friend. She's told me she hates the girl, who telephoned me that day. The day I hurt my back, she telephoned me. I'd never met her. Strange woman, never met her, never a stranger to me, and said, I have a friend who's a psychiatric nurse. We've been watching and talking about Amy. We think she needs help. We can't do anything. Only you can. You're the guardian. And I said, okay. Because she'd already had an outburst, as far as a breakdown is what I saw. But also she attacked me on the internet and lied. And I knew that she was confused. Either she was being told lies or she believed lies. Well, it's the same thing. Because we believe the lie that Satan tells you. She accepted Satan and he encouraged her to throw me under the bus. It's a simple story. Very simple. I never put this in my note to wins. I just put the facts. So the fact is, I said to her, I will go home and talk to Marty about it. This girl on the telephone. She said, no, you have to do something now. Yes. Oh. So I didn't talk to Marty because I said, why? She said, because she's a danger to herself. I said, hey, what do you mean? Like, she inferred she was a suicide threat. So I thought, what happens if I don't do something and she dies? So I did. I took the afternoon off. And I did it. Right, it wasn't that day, because it was after I had resolved it was in the middle of the week, and Amy went into Hill Morton. They found her. It was only my son and I, Joshua, that were involved. Marty sat on the fence and didn't get involved. He didn't want to know. He had wiped Amy because Amy had said things that he couldn't forgive, he didn't like. But I loved her no matter what. So I went back to work the next day. And this is what I got. I got a phone call from the hospital saying, we need you to do formally say, we're recording this, that you want her assessed, that you're, what do you call it, condemning her. It's a horrible word, I don't even know what it is. Now my oldest brother is a schizophrenic, so that is the family history on my side. But the family history on Amy's side is extensive. Robbie has psychosis. The schizophrenia appears in young males. I didn't think she had it. I honestly didn't. I knew it was demonic, but in the back of my mind, I thought, well, it would be nice to know, because I have never really held any hope that my brother would recover, and he has never recovered. Jeffrey's never recovered. When he was 18, he's never recovered. He's been institutionalised his entire life. But the result of this was the psychiatrist. Eventually I got information to say that it was temporary psychosis. People recover and get on, so that's great news. But that was later. But this day I just recorded this little thing on the telephone, and that's when I was on my knees working like that. And at lunchtime I went down 5 flights and opened my sandwiches and sat down on a park bench, of all things, a park bench in the middle of town, Cashel Street. And when I sat down, I ate my lunch and I couldn't get up. I sat down and I couldn't get up, and I dragged myself practically across to the portacom. My boss was in there. I said, I've done something to my back. And I went home and ended up ACC, and I recovered. And I believe in physiotherapy because I'd never done it before, ever. Never hurt myself like that. And she gave me massages regularly. I went in for, a week, 10 days. And I improved, and I did the exercises. And then I got the job, my last job that I resigned from. Right, so that's 2018, and that's my last job. Now, I can't drag out this and tell you all what was in the letter. All I can tell you is that the Lord got me to write it on the very last day, because I realise it's the 4th, it's supposed to be in today. So I'm going to go to Greymouth, I'm going to put it in a post box, and they're going to deliver it across the road to Winds. How much money do you waste? The system's ridiculous. Look at this. It's got a P.O. box number. The post office is the bookstore, which is down the road. I'm going to post it and deliver it. They're going to go down, pick it up. But as long as I got the postal stamp, it's done. And God got me to do it. Michael, would you stop it? Why is he like this? Jump! That's he can jump. That wee rascal, that wee wine, Michael. He's very lean. He's not fat puppy. Very lean. Anyway, what I want to say is, last time I saw the doctor was almost a year ago, and I told him about my sore thumbs. He said it's RSI, and I know that never comes right. Repetitive strain injury. So I can't open often. I can't open jars. It's just these bloody ache. But they're improved. I was getting pain right down my arm, but I don't now. These 2 thumbs. But I build. You see what I can do. I'm a determined person. But when I moved all these windows a few days ago, and I broke glass in one. I'd already known that I'd broken glass. 2. There's 4 windows. Oh, I can't show you all the little cuts. I've got little cuts. I pray when I do these dangerous things. How do you focus it when your hands are... You can't. I've got tiny little cuts, they're quite sore. So, because I got this nice big long wooden window given to me, and I'm going to use that means I only need to use 3 of those windows, which means I had 4 and 2 panes were broken. And it always concerned me that I was putting windows in, they have broken panes that I possibly wouldn't be able to buy or sell and get them replaced, and it always concerned me. But I thought when I moved them, and I broke a whole lot of more panes in one of them, I thought, oh blow. I thought, oh blow. And then the Lord, as usual, works everything for good. I took out all the metals and the rubbers, and I saved 4 panes. 4 panes of glass. So like a grid of glass. And I didn't slice my wrist open, but I got little cuts, and it's all nicely wrapped up with all the rubber, so that when I put the 3 windows in, I've got replacement glass. So I've got 3 perfect windows, and little things like that seem to matter. And they will matter, because we don't know how long it is until I'm in a holding pattern. I've just got to go with the flow, like a duck, ease on down the road. till he comes to get me. All those 3 things he said. Pretty casual, the Lord Jesus, isn't he? Pretty casual, but boy, you don't take anything he says lightly, I tell you that. When he speaks, it touches. Now, the other thing I said to my doctor was, and my hands, because I noticed this almost the second year I started building. I woke up and my hands were sort of swollen in the morning, and swollen, and they would come right as the day went on. I ignored it and never told my doctor for 5 years. They didn't want it on my record because I thought that it would stop me getting a job. I didn't lie, I just never mentioned it. Well, I mentioned that last time I saw him, and he said, "Gives a look at your knuckles." He said, you've got onset osteoarthritis or whatever. So I've got arthritis in my hands. I've had it for 6 years as well. My little brother had very painful arthritis, very young, in his early 20s. Well, it's not sore, but I feel it when I've done a day's work. And yesterday I did a good day's work, and boy, my hands are sore from little cuts and arthritis. So I'm a little bit of a medical look, the Lord just gave me the picture. When I was a child, I was in a rubbish bin, in a paper rubbish bin that sort of hung outside. I was so light that it was a paper rubbish bin, and I don't know, I think it might have been my big brother put me in it, and then everyone stood in the house and looked at me and pointed and laughed and took photos. There was a photo, and they called me trash, because I'm the black sheep. I ended up being the black sheep, like Click said. That was interesting. Anyway, what I want to do now is just tell you that I'm going to go post that letter, and the man who Sherbet, I mentioned Sherbet, his truck's called Sherbet, Sweet and Sour Sherbet, and the Lord had already shown me a song by the from the Pied Piper by a band called Sherbet. So it's a New Zealand band. And when I seen the name of his band, his name's Lester, I said, "Have you heard of the band Sherbet?" He hadn't. A lot of people on the West Coast don't watch TV. They were always outdoors. This guy's in his 70s, easily, nearly 80s. Some all 70, 80. They don't watch TV and they don't know about music. They don't listen to music. Very strange over here. But I played it on a video for him because he was sitting in the caravan the day he showed me his truck, and he had a tea towel in the back that his son gave him with fire truck on it, and it had 1984. Does that remind you of anything that Click testified about? 1984, like 1984, and the song. Well, is there a song? I've never watched the movie. I might watch it. But there's that song. It's the end of the world and you know it. I feel fine. So I testified to Lester about that and Sherbet. Now Sherbet goes like this. How's that? You missed about, I caught you out. How's that? Now that I found where you're at, it's goodbye. Well, how's that? It's goodbye. So the Lord gave me that song about my husband nearly a year after I left. It's perfect, sums it up. So I woke up this morning and I thought, I can hear the Lord. He said, get away early. And then I remembered the book, the letter which reads like a book that I'm sending to Winds, and that I'm sort of trying not to be anxious or worry because Lester brought all the timber to me, but I still haven't got the window. And the man who's renting the house where the window is the one who came up here and said, I quite like you, and tried to extort money off me, saying that, oh, have you paid for that timber? Because I thought you could give it to me because I hadn't been paid. He tried to extort money from me. I gave him my phone number and he said that he would help, like Gary helped, and maybe help me put the roof on. and he's never messaged me. So I'm going to go round there because I'm getting away early, because I've just made a shelter for that wooden window. I've just made it yesterday, and it's going to rain for another 2 weeks if I can see. So I want to get it, but it's 2.8 metres long, which is nearly as long as a bus. I'm not confident with a trailer. It's a wee bit complicated. The Lord's going to work it out somehow. So I'm going to pop in to see if it's still there and that guy hasn't sold it. It's not his. But I pray the Lord still has it, because I've broken all the panes in the 4th window now. And I really want it. It's mine. It's just not here yet. I'm going to get my window. I tried to sometimes you try and work out how to do these things yourself, but really I just need a miracle, and the Lord will get it to me. I'll be a testimony for it. So I was just thinking about that, and the Lord said, get away early, there's a reason. On Facebook sale, I found a blind. Now, where I'm having the end of this building, the temporary, I've got a plastic wall. Well, I took all the panes out, so now I'm using the frame of the window, which is 2.2, which fits the hole, to support the plastic, and I'm just going to put it at the end. Now I have curtains, because I'm going through the window with winter with a plastic wall, great insulation plastic. So I have beautiful curtains, and I'm going to buy a blind for $50. Pick it up. It's a sunblock blind, and I'm going to put some thermal behind it. So that should warm it up. So I'm doing that, dropping off my 1 litre, and trying to get this window delivered here today. And then I just said to the Lord, when he told me to get away early, I just weep often. He touches your flesh when he speaks, and how good he is. I said, oh, you're so good. You don't understand. You could never understand how much it means to me that I hear your voice. And then I realized, and I said to him in my prayer, which is conversation, my flesh is so wicked, I can't even feel it. I can't feel the love I have for you. I can't do it justice. I only experience it when you touch me, and my spirit loves you. My spirit loves him back, but my flesh has never changed. The flesh is a wicked, evil thing. So you know how it's really cool now, how I can play my music and you can hear it. Have a listen to this one that I sat here and woke up to, that's encouraged me. You know who it is, don't you? Right, see if I can do this in focus. Phil Collins, he's going to be saved. The Lord gave him lyrics to a song, Can You Feel It Coming in the Air Tonight? It's a warfare song. Now, there's my album, The Pied Piper. The Pied Piper. It's God's compilation album. It's the second time round. I lost the first one. I haven't worked that hard on putting it together. I could do it better. Right, here we go. So, here's the song. Write Everything Down is important, one of his songs. I listened to that. I think that's what it is. Yes, it is. Write every day down. I've stopped writing. I thought, I've stopped writing things down, Lord, because I'm in a holding pattern, and I haven't really been writing all this that's happening. So listen to this song. I don't know how long we've got. 4 minutes. I'm gonna risk 2. Okay. Listen to the words. It confirms what I've just said. It's prophetic.